What does mental toughness mean? Mental toughness is a term that you hear a lot as an athlete, but how do you actually build mental toughness? As a mental performance coach, I think we need to take a step deeper. We need to see mental toughness as the outcome, but then what we need to focus on are the mental skills that make you mentally tough. And so what I'm going to do in this video is go into the 6 mental skills that you need to develop your mental toughness as an athlete. Hey there, I'm Eli Straw, mental performance coach and the founder of SuccessStartsWithin.com. Now before we go into the 6 mental skills, I want to cover why it's so important for you to focus on building your mental toughness as an athlete. There are 5 benefits of mental toughness for you as an athlete that I really want to focus on. One of them is going to be improved motivation. When working towards a goal, you need to have motivation. You need to have that inner drive to push yourself even on the days when you feel like giving up. Now, as you develop mental toughness, this is going to help you remain motivated and work towards the direction of your goals. Another benefit is that it helps you handle criticism better. As an athlete, there is no doubt that criticism is going to find its way into your life. This may come from, a coach, it may come from your teammates, but there is always the chance that you might take it very personally. Now, when you develop mental toughness, criticism is going to work to become more neutral, meaning you're able to take more of an objective view, learn from this criticism, so learn from the feedback, actually use it to improve yourself instead of having it be a negative impact to your confidence. Another benefit of mental toughness is increased positivity. Remaining positive is going to greatly improve your performance. Having a tough mindset means negativity will not be as hurtful. And this is going to provide you with an opportunity to remain positive even in the most negative circumstances like a mistake during a game. And that brings us into another benefit, which is better resilience. Now, we know that you're going to fail. You're going to make mistakes. And those mistakes can be very helpful, but they can also be hurtful. If you allow these mistakes to hold you back, if you get too distracted by the mistakes, if you get too frustrated, then that's going to lower your performances moving forward. But when you develop mental toughness, this is going to provide you the ability to be resilient in the face of these setbacks and adversity. And then another main benefit is increased self-belief. Now, as an athlete, if you want to translate your practice skills into games, you have to have a high level of trust and belief in yourself. You cannot be doubting yourself during games. But having this level of self-confidence is not always easy. But when you develop high levels of mental toughness, this is going to strengthen your mindset. It's going to keep those thoughts of self-doubt kind of at bay, and it's going to allow you to believe in yourself more and have more of that trust going into games. Now, when I want to help an athlete build mental toughness, I think of that as the outcome, and then I turn my attention onto building mental skills. Because when it comes to developing physical skills, just like when it comes to developing a stronger body, right, stronger muscles, we want to focus on the individual skills. We don't necessarily want to spend so much time thinking about I need to be good or I need to be strong. You need to develop certain skills that help make you strong. So when it comes to mental toughness, we can spend all day saying, I want to be tougher mentally, but what does that actually mean? Well, it means we want to focus on developing these certain mental skills. So what I'm going to do is break down each of the 6 mental skills that I think are the most important for you to focus on as an athlete. The first one is going to be self-awareness. Now, being self-aware means you have the ability to recognize and understand your thoughts, feelings, and actions. And by understand, I mean you not only know how to describe how you're feeling, for example, but you also have a good idea of why you are feeling that way. For example, if you're feeling anxious going into a game, self-awareness means you understand where that anxiety is coming from. And this is the foundation for mental toughness, because the other areas and the other mental skills that I'm going to talk about, they all stem from having a high level of self-awareness. When you don't know why you are, thinking, feeling, or acting a certain way, so you don't know why you're afraid of making a mistake, you don't know why you're doubting yourself, it's easy to become frustrated. And not only is it easy to become frustrated, but it becomes very difficult to make a change happen. With the understanding that you gain through self-awareness, you're able to add a valuable trait to the makeup of your mindset. You're able to recognize where these feelings and actions and thoughts are coming from. The next mental skill is self-confidence. Belief and trust in your skills and your abilities is what defines self-confidence. Having trust in your own abilities is a must. No matter what sport you play, you need to have the belief that you're going to be able to go out there and you're going to be able to perform well. Not just that you have the skills, but that you can translate those skills into a game. If you don't have this belief, you're going to be more susceptible to self-doubt and to negative thoughts, all of which are going to lower your performance. When you develop self-confidence, this acts as a wall within your mind to outside interference and outside criticism. You're no longer going to be, as needy to the praise of other people like your coaches. You're not going to be needing immediate performance to make you feel more confident. You have that deep belief in yourself that you have the skills necessary to succeed. The third mental skill is focus. We know that distractions are going to be everywhere in your sport. And if you want to be mentally tough, you need to have the ability to control your focus in the midst of so many distractions. A great example of this is playing an opposing team on their home field or their home court. This is a very easy opportunity for you to lose focus, especially if their crowd is really loud and they're working hard, and even the other team is working hard to get inside your head. But when you're able to control your focus, no matter their best efforts, they're not going to be able to distract you. Another example is going to be more internal, and this has to do with distracting thoughts that you have before, during, and then also after a game. Let's say that it's during a game and you just made a mistake. What are you thinking about going into that next play? If you don't know how to let go of the mistake and refocus your attention, it's going to be pretty unlikely that your performance will improve moving forward, and it's also very likely you're going to have one mistake turn into more mistakes. And so when you're wanting to build your mental toughness, you need to focus on your ability to strengthen and control your attention. Mental skill number 4 is bouncing back from failure. If you want to build this mental toughness and you want to build this strong mind, you need to have the ability to bounce back from failure, because we know failures are going to happen. Now, in the list of benefits, I described that an increase in resilience, so that ability to bounce back from failure, is a benefit or a product of mental toughness. But what's interesting is that this benefit comes from the necessity of being resilient in order to be mentally tough. Now, we know that failure, no matter how big or small, is going to find us. Some way or another, you're going to run into some setbacks within your sport. It might be something small like losing within a game. It might be big like, dealing with a slump for an entire season or dealing with an injury. But you need to be able to bounce back from any setback and be resilient if you want to be that mentally tough athlete. The 5th characteristic is calming your nerves going into a game. Now, nerves can be helpful because they can increase your focus and increase your motivation, but they can also be very hurtful. And the way that nerves are going to be hurtful is by causing anxiety and causing you to worry about what may or may not happen. When you go into a game feeling very anxious and you're worried about what's going to happen, this is actually going to have a physical change on the way that you play, because you might end up playing more cautiously or more timidly. And so if you want to be mentally tough as an athlete, you need to gain the ability to recognize that you're feeling anxious, you're feeling nervous, not get too worried about it, and then calm your nerves going into a game. And that ability to regulate and calm your nerves going into a game is a key characteristic of building this mental toughness. And then the 6th mental skill is self-management. This final characteristic for mental toughness is really all about how you can manage yourself as an athlete. Now, what I'm truly talking about controlling in terms of self-management are your thoughts and feelings. When you have low levels of self-management, it's going to make having a tough mind very difficult, because your thoughts are going to control you. Your emotions and your feelings during games are going to control you. You're going to have anxiety and fear during a game and not know how to do anything about it. But when you have this ability to manage yourself, all of a sudden you start performing in a different mindset because you're able to control that mindset, and that is going to mean that you're going to be more mentally tough. But remember, this takes us all the way back to the very first skill. You're not going to be able to manage yourself better until you're able to understand yourself better. Once you can understand those thoughts, feelings, and how they're impacting your actions, then you're able to manage them differently. Being mentally tough is an important trait for you to develop as an athlete if you truly want to be successful. And I want you to focus not just on building mental toughness, but building mental skills. Because just like when you go into a game, you don't want to be spending so much time focusing on the fact that you want to win. Of course you want to win. What do you actually need to do to help yourself win? So we know that of course you want to build mental toughness. What do you actually need to focus on to build your mental toughness? You need to focus on the 6 mental skills: self-awareness, self-confidence, focus, resilience, having that ability to calm your nerves, and then also developing self-management. Now, if you focus on those 6 characteristics, that's what's going to help you build mental toughness as an athlete.